heart of Evergreen Hollow, where snow-covered rooftops sparkled like sugar cookies and the scent of cinnamon wafted through the air, Christmas preparations were in full swing. The great Christmas tree stood tall in the village square, waiting to light up the holiday season. But this year, something was amiss. The villagers gathered around the tree, their faces etched with worry. "The Star of Kindness is missing," boomed Mr. Tumble, the mayor of Evergreen Hollow, his jolly polar bear face unusually grim. "Without it, the tree won't shine, and Christmas might lose its magic." The crowd gasped. The Star of Kindness was no ordinary ornament. It was the very heart of their Christmas celebrations. It symbolized the love and generosity that bound the village together. Just as murmurs of despair spread, a tiny voice rang out. "I'll find it," declared Ella, a curious little elf with a spark of determination in her eyes. "Christmas won't be ruined, not on my watch." The crowd turned to see Ella standing boldly, her green hat slightly askew and her hands balled into fists. Wizzy, the village's wise but perpetually grumpy owl, fluttered down from his perch on a nearby lamppost. "Brave words, little elf," he muttered, shaking his feathery head. "But finding the Star of Kindness won't be easy. Still, someone has to keep you out of trouble, so I'll come along." Leo, a shy young reindeer who had yet to master flying, nervously stepped forward. "I'll come too," he said softly. If you think I can help." Ella smiled at her friends. "Of course, Leo. Together we can do anything." And so the unlikely trio set off into the snowy forest, the hopes of the entire village resting on their small shoulders. The forest was a world of white and silver, with trees that reached for the sky and snow that crunched softly beneath their feet. The deeper they ventured, the darker and quieter it became. Only the soft glow of Ella's lantern lit their path. They had barely begun their journey when they reached a frozen river. The ice shimmered under the moonlight, but it looked treacherous. Leo hesitated, his hooves scraping nervously against the snow. "What if I slip? What if the ice cracks?" Ella knelt down, inspecting the surface. "We'll cross it together," she said confidently. She pulled a length of rope from her bag and tied it gently around Leo. "I'll hold on to you, and Wizzy will fly overhead to guide us." With slow, careful steps, they made their way across the ice. Leo's legs wobbled, and there were a few heart-stopping moments when the ice creaked ominously, but they finally reached the other side. "See," Ella said, her cheeks flushed with cold and triumph. "I told you we could do it." Their journey continued until they stumbled upon a clearing, where they heard a mischievous giggle. A squirrel darted out of the shadows, its fluffy tail twitching excitedly. Clutched in its tiny paws was something shiny. "Poppy!" Ella exclaimed, recognizing the playful squirrel. "What are you up to?" Poppy grinned, her eyes sparkling. "Oh, just borrowing some treasures. Why? Did you lose something?" Ella explained the missing Star of Kindness, her voice filled with urgency. Poppy's grin faltered, and she hesitated. "I might have seen something shiny fall into the old wishing well," she admitted, "but why should I help you?" Ella noticed that Poppy's fur was ruffled, and she was shivering slightly. Without a second thought, Ella unwound her own scarf and draped it over Poppy's shoulders. "Here," she said gently, "you must be cold." Poppy's eyes widened in surprise. "You'd give me your scarf, even when you're on such an important mission?" she asked. When Ella nodded, Poppy's grin returned, but this time it was softer, kinder. "Well, in that case, I'll show you the way." The old wishing well stood in the middle of a snowy glade, its stones covered in frost. When Ella peered inside, she saw the Star of Kindness at the bottom, glowing faintly. But the well was deep, and the star seemed out of reach. "We'll need a plan," Ella said, turning to her friends. Wizzy puffed up his feathers. "Leave it to me. I'll lower this vine into the well, and you can climb down to tie it around the star. Leo and I will pull you back up." It was a tense operation. Ella's hands trembled as she climbed down the well, the cold stone pressing against her small frame. The star was heavier than she expected, and there was a moment when the vine slipped slightly, causing her heart to race. But her friends held steady, and together they brought the star of kindness back to the surface. When they returned to Evergreen Hollow, the entire village erupted in cheers. Ella climbed a ladder and carefully placed the star atop the tree. It glowed brighter than ever, sending rays of warm, golden light across the square. Snowflakes sparkled like diamonds as they fell, and the villagers broke into song, their voices blending in a joyful carol. Mr. Tumble wiped a tear from his eye. "You did it, Ella. You saved Christmas." Ella smiled, her cheeks pink from the cold. "It wasn't just me," she said, glancing at Leo, Wizzy, and even Poppy, who was proudly wearing her new scarf. It was kindness and teamwork that saved the day. The moral of the story: sometimes even the smallest acts of kindness, like sharing a scarf, can have a ripple effect that lights up the world. And that, dear friends, is the true magic of Christmas. Next time on the Evergreen Hollow Chronicles, the selfish snowman.